My most awkward Navy story. So I was reminded of this topic over the weekend, and I wanted to make a video about it. So I had, as some of you know, I had a gay roommate when I was in the Navy. When I was in, don't ask, don't tell had been reversed. So now you're able to be openly gay in the military, which I think is awesome. I also just read recently that they are pushing now to let you be openly transgender. But anyways, I think that's awesome. Like, you should be able to, it's 2015, we should be able to do, we should all be accepting of other people's ways of life if it doesn't affect ours. If you're gonna work your ass off in the military, in the Navy, I don't care if you're gay, trans, an alien, yellow. The point I'm trying to get to is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I had a gay roommate he was in my squadron. We were roommates for like 6 months. I just transferred to Japan from San Diego, and they didn't have all the new barracks set up for us. They didn't have enough space, so even though I was an E4 or E5, I had to share a room with somebody for a couple months before all that got set up. And he was openly gay. Well, we don't talk anymore, but he was a good friend. I'd worked with him before. Great guy, awesome guy. So now he was my roommate. And I didn't really think anything of it, as long as he doesn't come on to me, as long as something inappropriate didn't happen, I was fine with that, totally, 100% fine. And there was one situation, and I didn't know how to respond. I didn't know what to do. So let me tell you guys a story. Maybe you can think of your own. What would you have done in that situation if you're in my shoes? So basically, I had it was a weekend. And normally you don't work on the weekends if you're not deployed. So we didn't have to work that weekend. But I had duty. I had watch that weekend from midnight to 8 at our squadron. So what that means is I was basically just had to sit there and make sure nothing happened or nothing was going on from those hours. I got there at work, and there was somebody already there. Somebody messed up the watch bill, so I didn't have to work. I got to go home. I'm opening my door. I get back to the barracks at about 1 in the morning. And I open the door, and I see two heads, like human heads. The barracks room was small. It was basically just enough room for like a bed in one corner, a bed in the other corner, and then there was a bathroom that we had that was connected with another person's room. So there was 2 beds, and then there was a desk on each wall, and that was basically the barracks room. So I'm making noise. I turn the light on in the bathroom. I even go in and take a shower. And at this point I'm thinking like, okay, I'm making a lot of noise now to where my roommate's gonna wake up, and whoever is in his bed with him, and hopefully he leaves, because I don't want to get out of the shower and have to go back into my bed. And I was thinking like, dang, then I'm gonna have to sleep in my room with my roommate and another dude sleeping in his bed. But that's when the dilemma hit, because that's when I was thinking to myself, like, Justin, all right, so if it was a girl when I walked into the room and I saw him and a girl, I wouldn't have done anything. I would have been like, oh, okay, whatever, man. Like, as long as they're quiet or sleeping, I wouldn't have had an issue. It's not an issue. But I had a gay roommate, and it was a guy. So that's when I was like, I felt uncomfortable, but then I felt bad. I was like asking myself, like, okay, why do you feel bad? Like, yeah, it's a dude, but does that make me like a bad person because I'm uncomfortable that there's a guy in his bed, and I wouldn't have been uncomfortable if it was a girl? Like, does that make me like prejudiced or judgmental? So I was in this like position. Afterwards, I was just trying to think. I was thinking to myself, like, dang, like, this is an interesting situation to be in. But anyways, back to the story. I got out of the shower, and they were still there. The other dude was still in the bed with my roommate. They weren't making any noise. They were sleeping. So I eventually fall asleep. The next morning, he wakes up before me, and the person's gone. Both of them are gone before I wake up in the morning. But somebody comes back. I hear a knock on the door, like knock, knock, knock. I get up, I wake up, and the person at the door says, "Oh, hey man, I forgot my glasses." And I'm like, "Oh, for sure." So I go and get some glasses on our desk, and I hand them to him, and that's when it hits me. Dude, 2 plus 2. I was like, that's the dude that slept with my roommate. He left his glasses. He forgot his glasses in the room. And that guy was in my squadron also, and nobody knew that he was gay. And my roommate just slept with him. And it was like, what the fuck? Crazy situation. Interesting situation, to say the least. But basically the point of me telling the story is, you know, you're going to be put into some awkward, different situations in the Navy that you're not ever going to expect. Like, that was never on my mind that would ever happen, that I would walk in on 2 guys sleeping together. That was never even in the scheme of things. So, like, to have to deal with that situation and process that and think about that, that actually, I feel like it made me actually a better person, because it made me, like, look inward to myself and think, like, what do I really stand for and believe in? And, like, how does that make me feel? Like, yeah, because my roommate, like I was saying, he thought that I would be at work until 8 in the morning. He didn't think that I was going to come back, right? So I can't really blame him for having that happen, because it's not, he planned it, you know, when I was gone. Like I was saying, if it was a girl, what would your guys' reaction have been? Like, if you walked in on your buddy sleeping with a girl, you would have been like, oh, all right, man, cool, like, you do your thing, whatever. But if it was a dude, if you had a gay roommate and you walk into 2 dudes sleeping together, what do? He's your friend. Do you, like, also, I don't know. So that's the situation I was in. You guys let me know what you think about that. Yeah. All right.